thinking about something that happened recently and thought that I should share it on my page to maybe encourage someone else. Um, so I was going to do that this morning. My outfit, I just threw this sweatshirt on over that. Looks lovely. Anyway, so yeah, I was thinking about something recently. It's mowing season, and here in Tennessee, and um, for the past few years, I've tried to mow the yard myself. Sometimes my son would help. Sometimes, in the past, his dad helped. Sometimes, but I kind of looked at it as a workout because it's a push mower, and ended up getting one that was like the self-propelled kind that help you, which is nice. Took me a minute to get used to those, but so I broke out the mower for this year, and um, I I started to try to mow a few weeks ago. And at first, it was going okay for maybe 10 or 15 minutes, but then it just kind of stopped on me. And it may have been because, the grass was starting to get kind of tall. And there's this one area in the yard. There's a lot of yard. It's like over an acre. But there's this one area in the yard where it's kind of like thick, and the grass can get pretty thick there, and so it's hard to mow if it gets too tall, for a push mower. So I was just trying to do it a little at a time, and so maybe that's why it stopped working. But I tried to clean it out, and because it's happened before, and it was okay before, but this time it just would not turn back on. I tried over and over, to pull the thing, and I was like getting a workout trying to like pull the thing. I just couldn't get it to work, and it was just frustrating. And it wasn't because I was out of gas. There's a full tank of gas. But I started to go back inside to just kind of get something to drink and just to figure out what to do. And I was a little frustrated. I was pretty frustrated. There hasn't been a lot of easy things, in my life recently. And how sometimes when other things are going wrong, or other things are hard, like if something small happens or something that's not that big of a deal, but it can kind of like put you over the top in a sense. I just started to tear up, and I just wanted to cry, like, over the mower not working, because I was like, I didn't know how to fix a mower. I'm not very handy like that, or techie for that matter. But I just thought, what am I gonna do? And so, but my neighbor, she has a place down the street. She has two places, but she has a riding mower, and she had come over to mow her yard, I think the day before, and she had said something to me. I gave her, her eggs, and she's like, "Do you want me to hit your yard real quick?" And I was like, I was actually going to get out there and start mowing. And I said, plus you have your other place too, and you need to mow that. She has more land over there. And so I didn't want to, burden her with that. And so I just told her, no, thank you. And she did tell me that the neighbor next door, he does not like seeing me push mow because I guess there's a lot of yard, and it's just, he has a mowing business. He and his family, he and his wife, and they, I I was just thinking about that. But so after the mower stopped and it quit on me, and I was frustrated, and I was going back inside about to just like, you know, cry and all this stuff. Um, I thought, well, what can I do? And I thought of, my neighbor, and I thought of what she said, and I thought of them, and I thought, well, I wonder what they charge, and can I afford it? And, could they do that? So I text the wife. I had her number, and I text her, and sure enough, she said that they would love to mow the yard, and they gave me a good price. And just because they're right next door, they don't, he doesn't have to um, go anywhere, and so it's a lot easier. So they gave me a good price, and it ended up working out. So I was really thankful for that, and now I'm not mowing, and which is kind of weird because I'm used to mowing a bit, every year. But I feel like that in a way that God wanted me to do that. As frustrating as it was for the mower to stop working, and even though it was kind of my exercise, I felt like he was like, let me take this burden off of you. And I know that we all have our own burdens to bear. The Bible talks about that, and no one should try to take someone's burden completely. I mean, like some other person, but people can share, help people and help share their burden, like to help them with, their burden sometimes. And I kind of felt like that in a way. I guess, maybe the mower stopped working and I just could not get it to start again, so that it would kind of push me to text them and get on the schedule for his mowing service. And now I just pay by the month, like I pay in advance by the month. And it's been already a few weeks, and it's like he can mow it so much quicker than I ever could with a push mower. And it always looks good, of course, with a riding mower. But there's been times when I've come home and I'm like, oh wow, the yard is mowed, and it just looks so good. And I don't know. I thought maybe I'd share this story because it's like, sometimes through disappointments, there actually is a blessing in disguise. And I think that was it for me for the mowing story, that there is a blessing in it, that God wanted me to be less burdened with having to mow so much each week by myself. And so I was really thankful for that. So that is the moral of the story, is even in disappointment, sometimes there can be a blessing in disguise. I know we've all heard that before, maybe it's a blessing in disguise, but that's actually true. Like that is actually true sometimes. So that's all for now. Hope you have a good day.